of Aster's levels, all of them have the pass. They should all have that loading screen equipped, but they don't. That's a worrying sign to start us off here.
It certainly is. Speaking of worrying signs, John, I'm going to have to bring up some betting odds. This isn't very worrying for Aster, but it might be for Longinus. Have a quick look at that in just a moment. You of course had a little bit of a comment on that earlier on. Those are some really high odds for this Longinus side, and they'll be on the screen in just a moment, as Fade is going to run into that ES, and well, actually maybe they get quite a bit of damage off here, but the Batrider will join in, and that'll be enough. Fade will have to back off on this support Riki. There's the odds on the screen now. As you can see, Longinus 8.88 odds, Aster sitting at 1.05. We saw a very, very similar thing yesterday with LGD versus Longinus, though the odds were even higher. But I don't know, like, just judging by that group score, those odds are pretty good in some sense, right? Because Longinus and Aster are both 0-2. So it's not really impossible for Longinus to pull off the victory.
No, there are opportunities. We saw some flashes of brilliance from Longinus a couple of times when their draft were with heroes they were comfy with, but they have been forced in just really weird drafts other times. So this is a lot more standard for them, and based on their history, none of this is too far-fetched. So it is fairly comfy for them, and I would like to see how far they can push. I mean, you look at that bot lane. Dodo is already helping Piao pump out those quilt sprays. It's not going to be fun for Aster down here.
Well, that's the thing. It is like this draft really allows them to have a really solid chance of pulling off this victory. And we'll see what Piao gets up to. In fact, he's actually going to change up lanes already. Now, this is the part that starts concerning me. When you start switching lanes like this, and you just run across the map constantly, I realize why they do it. But you're missing 1-2 waves, and I believe it was it IG yesterday we saw it from? And it just put them so far behind doing this. Just running across the map, trying to find that perfect laning stage. Piao, I mean, he is a bristleback. He's not going to have too many issues, but as a bristleback, you like to dominate the lane as soon as you're there. But at this stage, he's stuck at level 1, and now he's running down bot again.
Is that in reaction to XXS? XXS is also lane swapping. Maybe they don't want to have the bristle up there. This is really just costing them, though. Like, the supports are finding farm. Moriarty and Fade are trading farm up there, but you are really sacking these, the safe laner and the off laner for both sides.
I honestly get more scared as well, like, seeing that Riki farming, that scares me more than the Earthshaker, to be honest with you, John. Like, a quick blink is nice and all, but if that Riki... If Fade decided he wanted to go something like a Diffusal Blade, which we used to do on support Riki, on a POS 4 Riki, it can be devastating. It's almost as bad as the POS 1. It just doesn't allow the supports to survive at all throughout the game.
Yeah, it's going to be really potent for Fade to hit that timing, but it's not critical. It's just a really big bonus, which Aster is slowly building up towards. I mean, this movement from XXS has really just forced Longinus to really lose out in these musical lanes. They're still walking back to the designated lanes they want, and it's costing them a ton of EXP and gold.
It is. Question is, who does it affect more? And part of me just feels like, again, as the Bristle, you really want to try and apply that aggression early on. XXS now going to meet up at the top lane on that LC, and will take his spot in this lane. We are still seeing Chuan, though. He hasn't really made the rotation down pots, so Baboka, the lucky man, has hit level 3, and will now, as that level 3 Shadow Demon, John, look what he's doing. He's got 6 stacks of Shadow Poison on Piao, and he almost just dies, already having to commit that salve. And meanwhile, up at the top lane, it seems as though Fade has found first blood.
Yeah, just trying to go for an outpost capture. I think that was what was going on, or maybe a creep pull. In the end, gets super punished, and Longinus, they lose out on walking around. They're still finding the deaths, and they're still having to commit a lot of resources just to stay in these lanes, except mid.
Yeah, I mean, SCCC and SS are just going at it. SS finding himself a slight lead on that Ember, but that should change as the levels go up on SCCC. In fact, he is trying to apply some aggression now on that Ember. And I think for Aster, again, they're kind of just fine with that, just having the Morphling be the one that's actually getting something on the map. Like, if all things, right, you just want that Morphling to get, you know, those treads, get maybe a Wraith Band or two, and we'll see after that, like, do you go the Ethereal? Do you just go for a Lincoln Sphere up against the Lasso of the Batrider? It's really up to SCCC in the end. And another rotation, as I'm talking about SCCC and just watching him, now the Batrider's running down bot.
Yeah, it's starting to get really concerning, Longinus. I get that you don't want the Bat against the LC, because XXS will just always purge every single stack of Napalm. But you have missed out on so much. Like, Boca is in a position where he can really just out-damage you in lane and out-harass you. He's at level 4 on the support Shadow Demon. And even Chuan is still at level 3.
And Piao's still running top. XXS is out-leveling him by 1 right now, so he's just going to really harass Piao as he tries to run up to this top lane, and he has no regen. So hopefully his support does, and well, the ES has 1 Tango that I suppose he could share. Meanwhile, Fade is still farming on the support Ricky, and has now hit level 4. And it wouldn't really shock me at all if Fade decided, hey look, I've gotten so much farm, I can just be the POS one this game. I don't think they'll do that, but it really wouldn't shock me at some point if they do. Meanwhile, bot lane Baboka, I mean, you mentioned it, he can bully anyone out of the lane now, and he just does. The Batrider dies again to the Shadow Poisons of Baboka, and he's going to have quite a quick Arcane Boots, but as well as that, he could just buy some Clarities if he really wants, and just keep doing this.
Yeah, he's probably just going to go for the reset, though, just to ensure himself full mana and probably come in with additional regen to help out. But this bot lane is really going to be super hard for Longinus. They've just lost out in the EXP. They are rotating a lot of heroes up top as well, though.
They have to. Piao can't farm anymore. He's not a bristleback in lane. Now Chuan's here on the Kunkka. He kind of just never left this top lane. And they're just going to take down Dodo straight off the bat. And now the ES, a great 3-man Fisher. Fade may die to the Quill Sprays of Piao, but no, he'll just Blink Strike away. And they'll try and chase Chuan down. Maybe they get this kill if they can lock him down a bit longer, but no, he's fine. He'll just stick charge up. XXS does at least get caught out by SS, who does make that rotation. But it's these aren't great rotations here from Longinus. They're not going to pan out very well once we hit that mid game. And I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but they're going to be so far behind if this keeps up.
Yeah, they've really got to put a lid on it. Maybe just stay in those lanes. If not, start stacking the jungle. That's one way to really recover. I don't think Aster's going to be too keen in going hunting themselves. They've just really stayed in their own lanes for the most part. Like they're just going to be waiting for SCCC to find his farm, which Longinus has not managed to keep in check because they've been so busy in the side lanes.
Yeah. And they still don't have the lanes they want, by the way. Like, XXS is still there up against the Batrider. Like, they killed the LC up at top lane, so he could just TP it back down bot. And Baboka, I mean, he's just not even allowing the Bat to get close. Misses that Shadow Poison, but they've already got 3 stacks on him. The ES now going to rotate down bot as well. They're going to try and look to make a play, and the Fisher is going to be pretty decent there on Baboka, who should die to the Firefly. He continues spamming out Shadow Poison, does a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough. So Longinus picking up a nice Shadow Demon kill, and that was actually a decent amount of XP considering how high of a level he is.
Yeah, they are finding some ways to bounce back with that. It's coming at a big cost, though. Like, now your 2 supports were down, but, you know, you're leaving the Bristleback up top alone, which usually isn't bad, right? Like, we're talking about a Bristleback. He's supposed to be lane dominant. But Piao is just so far behind that he does have the Soul Ring, at least, to play around with.
He's going to die.
But, yeah, no.
Baboka's
down here as well.
Baboka's not level 6, though. You would have liked to see that Purge being available, but they just don't need it. They have Torrent, they have Bone, and Piao just going to get taken down by Chuan. It's really that easy. This Bristleback is not really a hero right now. Bot lane, they try to apply pressure onto XXS, but he's a Legion commander. you know, you mentioned it before, but press the attack and just run away. You'll be fine.
The rune of invisibility.
Yeah, it's, honestly, oh god, SCC. What? Why'd you do that, bro?
That was too
No,
Why'd you do that? He was thinking.
invis. He was invis, John.
Oh, but he could see the tick. He must have seen the tick. It's a level.
No,
It's a max level flame guard. Oh,
it happens.
That is.
We've all done it. It happens.
Oh god, that must have been so sad to see, though. That must have been so sad to do. Like the moment he was like, "Oh, my HP is going down." Oh no, it's too late. Max level shapeshift, attribute shift. You know, it's too fast.
I mean, it's a big mistake. Don't get me wrong. He was not necessarily dominating the lane, but he was having a very, very nice time. But he does give a lot of golden XP over to the way of the Ember, who, well, SS, he's currently top of the net worth board, so he's having a great old time. SCCC, nice chains onto that Ember, and now Fade jumping in, but he doesn't have smokescreen anyway. No smokescreen means you can't really kill the Ember right now, as he is sitting at level 8. SCCC, though, he's going to start forcing in that tier 1 tower, and in all fairness, if they do find this tower this early on, it is going to open up the map quite a lot for the side of Aster. But of course, Longinus, not just going to allow that. They will be there to defend.
Yeah, they have to. It's really important to have control in that jungle area. You need to play catch up there for your Ember and for your Bristle. Even your Bat Rider can play there, so you need to maintain that control. They are trying to pressure Ultra, but... Oh.
Yeah, you can't do it with just Purge, though. They do force rotation, so it's not all bad. SCCC gonna get jumped on now with the Remnant. Nice Fisher, but the strength morphing is already there. Now the Bat Rider even gonna rotate in. They're just bringing everyone here, but now Aster, they're TPing more in as well. They want a duel on XXS, and they do find that Ember. Finally locking him down. Oh, that's a huge torrent into a huge boat. 3 heroes getting caught out by that, and they all basically just ran in. A real shame for the side of Longinus, but just a very well-timed torrent from Chuan.
Yeah, it was pretty darn optimistic from Longinus. Like, they'd already lost the objective. It was pretty hard to find the perfect positioning to get their spell uses out. So they didn't get to use the lasso. They didn't have the slam available anyway. And it just played against them. They have to be a bit more patient. They have to maybe consider fighting in more controlled areas. Not quite the time after you lose that mid-tier 1.
Well, it's a 3-6 now, 2k net worth. Though Lasso going to be there down to the bot lane. They're going to try and just shut down XXS. He does have press the attack, but it's only really at level 1, so that means they should get the kill, and they do. Fade will take over the bot lane for a little bit, and you know, John, I mentioned before that Ricky could go the Diffusal build. Looks like he is. So,
yeah?
If Fade gets that farm, it's not quite a core Ricky, but it does tend to hurt a lot. And, well, just with the purge there from Baboka, they might find this Bat Rider. This is a core Bat Rider going down, and he does die. SS going to come in now with the chains, and Will-O-Wisp there from Dodo. They should find at least Baboka. Right, disruption going to be there. XXS now showing his face, but a huge echo just to ensure they get the kill. But now you're going to give this Earthshaker away, and XXS should be able to get a nice duel victory off, and does. So ultimately, still working out very, very nicely for Team Aster. And Fade going to continue the chase here onto the Ember. Still, they don't really have smokescreen yet, so they can't slow him down and lock him down long enough. But you're still very, very satisfied if you are this Aster side.
Yeah, you definitely are. Not only are you finding the kills, but this is giving a lot of space to SCCC. Like, he got the top tier 1, he's saving up for the shotgun build, and he's uncontested. So your Morphling is on the road towards being a major issue, and Longinus, they've kind of let that slip away.
On the brighter side, at least Piao is starting to catch up a little bit in farm and XP. He's been just stacking up the neutrals and just farming up those. I laugh every time that bounty sound comes in. He's been stacking and farming the triangle for himself, so he'll catch up sooner rather than later. But whether he'll have the same influence over this game is a different question entirely, because half the hero of Bristleback is really just lane domination, and that's gone. So unless he becomes really, really farmed, I don't know how much he can do for his team.
Yeah, it's gonna be tricky.
Oh,
I do like
it. Up.
yeah, it's going to be even trickier to try to sustain yourself there. A lot of these heroes will get impacted hard, and that just means Chuan can keep forcing fights. Like, it's going to be hard for Longinus to try to commit in the counter fight. They're going to have to give up this bot tier 1, but he... No? Okay.
Nice,
yeah,
nice
just
juke
give
out
it.
from Dota.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's going to be an easy tier 1. It'll be a direct trade, though. Longinus will do the same. You do have the blink up now on the Earthshaker, so some big plays can afford to happen now for this side of Longinus. I dare say as well, like, I realize they're behind, but it wouldn't be too bad of an idea right now to maybe go for a smoke play, but they've already started. The Batrider getting caught out by Chuan, and bounty has been achieved.
Yep, they just rotate top after that tier 1 fell. They could punish. They do really easy to find that kill for the side of Aster right now, and again, the options. Oh,
close call from SS. He was really playing with fire there. Fade was around the corner, so I believe they would have had more than enough damage to actually take him out had they got the duel off. But now SCCC going to be in trouble. Echo going to be committed straight off the bat. Just lock him down. Don't let him strength morph. And Piao does pick up a very important kill for himself.
Yeah, it's finally punishing that Morphling, taking away some of that gold, although...
Yeah, Fade. Yeah, he just wants that bounty. He'll get out of there just fine. Top lane, however, I can't say the same for Chuan. Lasso going to be committed. X back onto the Batrider, but Chuan still burning down. Just so much damage coming out from this Batrider, but now XXS comes in to press the attack. Still looking for the duel attempt, but he is not fast enough. I believe he didn't have the phase boots off cooldown at the time, but mid lane, now the jump onto SS. Fisher going to be there to help out, and SS should just be fine now. SCCC going to TP in on the Morphling, but can't do much to help. He's just going to continue just trying to farm up that Ethereal Blade.
Yeah, close calls from both sides. Really, really close for Chuan. Just lucky that the Legion Commander did manage to get the press the attack off to get the debuffs off and purged. So Aster still maintaining that 3k lead, 6-9 at 16 minutes in. You are starting to see signs of life from Longinus. The blink on our Batrider is going to help them massively. So you're going to have a Shaker and a Bat that can start these fights for you. It makes it a lot easier to reach the backline or even reach the Morphling. Just catching SCCC out of position with the lasso before any defensive items. Not much you can really do.
Fade looking to try and make a play here onto Piao. XXS does have a duel up, but they make the jump onto Provoker first. Disruption cannot come out in time. The Longinus, nice way to start off this this T1 push. Piao just protecting that siege creep constantly. As the rest of the team looking to make a chase now onto SCCC, but he'll just strength morph and waveform out of there. Now Chuan going to rotate it in. XXS trying to find a dual target. They want the Earthshaker, and they will find him as well. Fade will be there with the follow-up damage on the Riki. But that will not save that bottom tier 1 tower. It does still end up dying.
Yeah, it's a nice little take for Longinus. They are keeping the gold swing from going too far, so it's been a steady 3k. That does mean Longinus is still finding gold, although Piao gets caught out.
Yeah, with that Spirit Vessel, they can take him out here. He's still very, very tanky, and it looks like the Will-O-Wisp will actually be enough to force them back a little bit. And now SS going to join in. Remnants forward onto XXS, but doesn't quite connect the chains. X now going to be there on to the Ember with the Smokescreen and the Spirit Vessel. Not really doing enough damage yet, however. Now the S jumps in. He has Echo, and he will commit it and connect onto 3. Now the Remnants forward, and they are going to just clean up the side of Aster. It's a lot of damage coming out from this ES. And just a very prolonged team fight, but Aster, I don't know what's going on, John. They had a great start, but they're just not able to follow up.
They've bled a lot of their lead away to Longinus now, and Longinus is starting to find a grip on the map. It's down to damage. Like, without the Morphling, you're not quite bursting down these enemy heroes just yet. And Aster has been a bit too keen. They're fighting in places where Longinus does maintain control, and that outpost allowed Longinus to respond to that movement. So maybe a bit more patience from Aster. Just wait for the shotgun to be up. And it looks to be up already, although, ooh, Courier dying.
Courier goes down. Yeah, well that was the shotgun. That's gone for another 2.5 minutes, so... That's a real shame, because as soon as you do get the shotgun, you generally want to just go find a quick support pick-off and get a bit of extra gold for yourself. The longer you have that, the kind of less impactful it is. The ES bot lane, bit of a late Fisher to come out on the LC. It seems as though the side of Longinus just want to try and take out this this bottom half of the map. Aster, however, are trying to force in the top lane, but Piao will be there to defend. And this Bristleback, he is caught up so quick. It's this shouldn't have happened, but Piao is he's caught up very well, John. He's got the Halberd up. He's going for a Radiance build next. It's almost like, why not? Mid lane, the fight has broken out, but Chuan is in trouble. He's trying to run away now, but SS does get the chains off still. Press the attack will purge that off. Now a nice torrent to help him out as well. Remnants forward, SS still going, and will eventually get the kill, but XXS will have a duel available for the back. But he was also chained up, so Piao, he finds Fade on the Riki. They do finally get the duel off, and they do get the kill on the Ember, but at what cost? Now their Morphling could be in trouble. SCCC trying to get away. He'll waveform to the right and will be fine, but Baboka probably won't be fine, as he is now being chased and burnt alive by this Batrider, and should eventually just die, and does. A 3-for-1 trade for Longinus once again. And, well, that'll be the T1 mid tower definitely going down.
Yeah, just, Longinus managing to bounce back in. It's down to the fact that they've got all these ways to start the fight. Again, the Batrider Blink helps them out massively. You've already got Recovery Farm onto Piao. And it's enough. It is just enough to counteract what Aster has. Like, this is the time where Aster needs to mellow out and wait for some farm. Although, Piao
may have overstayed his welcome here. He's surrounded, but... he's just very tanky. It apparently just doesn't matter if he's surrounded. They just don't have any damage.
Yeah, it's you don't really have the output on Fade to go through that Bristle back just yet. We were talking about the Diffusal coming out. It hasn't just yet. We're at 21 minutes in. Despite that great start for Fade, he has had to sacrifice his farm.
Echo onto 2. No strength morphing, or maybe there will be. Press the attack will allow SCCC to get out of there. Chuan also gets the boat off, and now the ES caught out with the jewel. A great torrent as well from that Kunkka. And SS, he's falling very, very low. Try to remnant away, but Fade is right on top of him. Now Piao falling a bit lower on that Bristle. Needs to get away, but Aster also pretty low. I'm not sure if they can actually chase Chuan. You can't run through the fire right now. He will have to walk away.
Oh. Yeah, it's they still find a couple of good kills. They managed to make Longinus use that Echo Slam, so they don't have to worry about it for the next 2 minutes. And you've finally bought enough time that SCCC does get that shotgun. So you've got the E-Blade up and running now on your Morph. Damage issues shouldn't be there anymore, although the Bristleback is still probably going to be hard to pick off. But you're going to have a bit of an easier time in actually going through the back. So there are options for Aster now. This is their time to kind of start to kick up the pace. I'd say maybe you wait for Fade's Diffusal first. You really need that additional damage and the mana burn and the slow coming out from that. You just definitely need that tool as well to maximize your potential. But beyond that, it is starting to maybe turn back here for Aster.
Have you seen Baboka? He's just trying to rush an Aghanim Scepter now.
Yep.
I mean, I like it.
It's really good. Like, the Purge is just so darn good against a Bristle. It's great against the Ember when he's caught out. It just gives you a lot of additional control, and it helps you continuously pump out the damage that you want to get out, especially with that Riki, right? Like, there's not much you can do with tricks if everyone can just go away, and this helps them stay in that smoke and the tricks.
And he has relevance once he hits level 25, John. 900 damage per purge. 3 charges. Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous as well. Like, you could just casually deal 2.7k damage on someone. They do catch out the Ember, but Lasso is going to be there to save the day still. The X-Torrent on SS. He's trying to remnant out of there. Jewel, no. Fisher will allow him to get out, but SCCC now with the Ethereal does blow him up just in the nick of time. And XXS going to be chased down, but another nice torrent to come out from Chuan. The Will-O-Wisp is quite decent there from Dota with the Illuminate charging up, and now the Echo once again just setting up for this Longinus side, and Chuan falling very, very low, should go down and does do so. Now Piao will chase down Baboka on this Shadow Demon and try to get rid of this pesky support.
Oh.
He does, but SCCC also finding that ES, and now Piao looking to maybe just run away, as SCCC does have the Earthshaker form. Fade also in a lot of trouble here on the Ricky, but does get away for now. He does smoke screen, still in trouble, but a nice Fisher from SCCC. And now the Ethereal actually not allowing the Bristle to chase the Ricky down. And they can just try and turn this Fade. He'll jump back in with the tricks. Doesn't really have the damage output though, so he'll have to back out. It looked pretty good for a second there for Longinus. Ends up being an even trade nonetheless, so it's not all too bad for them, but I'd say the longer this game goes on, the more it does favor Aster, because they do have the Morphling. Even the Ricky, like, all these heroes scale so much better. So I don't think even's quite enough.
No, you really need to be ahead with Longinus' draft, and it felt like they underestimated just how much that shotgun could do. We're also starting to see SCCC go for the Shaker more. So again, he doesn't need the Ags because it's on the enemy team. He can just have that insane additional damage, and it has helped him.
Nice little dual victory there onto Dodo. Very, very easy setup for Baboka with the disruption. Top lane, looks like Fade does get the Diffusal Blade up now and just sticks around that top lane, looking to set up here on Piao. SCCC going to show up as well, and this could be an easy kill, although I say that, he is still a very, very tanky target. Do X him up, boat to fly in, and looks like Piao with the Spirit Vessel won't quite be as tanky. But bot lane, bit of a chase here onto XXS, Remnants flying forward, Blade Mail to be popped, but XXS should have no way out of this. He does get Yulesed up, and they have plenty of control. Still, I think Aster just finding the Bristleback will be happier.
Yeah, it's definitely a bigger kill for Aster. Again, Longinus is tossing their Bristle pretty far, which is what we tend to see Bristles do, right? They want to disrupt a lane, force a response. It's just that when you're a pos, one Bristle, you should be the one farming as well. Like, there's no one else to soak that farm, maybe SS. But the Ember has kind of the same timings as the Bristleback almost, maybe slightly better towards the late, but it's still not the best scaling, and you are giving Aster basically time to cook up. Like, you look at SCCC, he's actually going for the Silver Edge for his team, so the Bristle is really just going to start melting once that's up and running on SCCC.
Well, the top lane, there could be a bit of action here. So they do to make the jump on the Batrider. He pops his BKB, but Fade can still do a lot of damage. ES jumps in for the Echo, but kind of just missed everything, and now they blow up the Coddle and the Bat. And Aster, just another great setup. In fact, it'll be a third kill here as the Earthshaker just won't have a way out of this situation. Does Fisher, does Yules up, but shouldn't be able to get the blink off in time. SCCC now finding a double kill on that Morphling, and yeah, a bit of a shame there with that Echo Slam. I believe Fade actually blinked out, and SCCC was also waveforming out at the time, and he just missed everyone.
Yeah, it's it would have been pretty big if they got that control, but nothing to really follow up. Longinus didn't even bother throwing in the Bristle and the Ember, so just kind of give that away, and because of that, Aster gets a free Roche.
It's always nice to have that free Roshan. They will go ahead and take it for themselves. Of course, SCCC the one to hold that. And that Silver Edge you spoke about, it's going to be coming out a lot sooner. So SCCC going to go for the Shadow Blade first, but already has that ultimate orb. And once that's up, Piao, he's been having a decent game considering the start he had. And he does have the Radiance coming out, but none of it's going to matter with that Silver Edge. It's going to be very, very problematic here. Though, they do find the Kunkka mid lane, but they didn't get the X timing right. So Chuan will be able to just run out of there quite safely. while the rest of his team push down that top tier 2 tower at quite a nice pace. Piao will show up, but they are not intimidated.
It's, Longinus needs to start. Well, he needs to stop fighting outside.
Piao, X'd up, Spirit Vesseled up as well. Torrent will connect, but they're not really focusing him yet. They're just trying to get rid of this Observer Ward on the high ground. And they took down one, but another was placed straight away. Fade. Interesting smoke screen there, but he will go after Dodo, and that's going to be an easy coddle kill. Will-O-Wisp was dropped prior to that. Disruption on the lasso, so XXS will be perfectly fine. There's an Echo Slam, but it doesn't really do much to SCCC. Meanwhile, SS being controlled up. Piao trying to go after Baboka. A nice duel out from XXS, and now Piao, he got one kill, but it's probably going to be at the cost of his own life, as he is just being body blocked right now, waiting for SCCC to make his way in. Well, you can spam Cool Space as much as you want. They aren't really doing quite as much damage as you would hope. Well, he is buying time, I guess. Does die eventually. And that was enough time to put a bounty on that BB. You may as well have, but Aster choose not to.
Nah, they're fine. They've found enough bounties, and you do have the Shadow Blade up, so it's just a recipe left. Of course, once the Silver Edge is up, again, you're going to be able to go through Piao a lot faster. Longinus now, at a 6k deficit, Aster, 18 to 25, 30 minutes in, and Longinus? Oh, no, not enough.
It was a bit late. I don't know what he Blink Strike to, but it seemed like he did no damage.
But yeah, it's like, Longinus right now can't really afford to fight outside their base. Their high ground is pretty decent with the Kotl and the Shaker, and even the Ember Spirit to an extent. But they're just fighting into areas where Aster can really just take control. And they've been getting punished for that. They do manage to wrestle control back in that triangle area, so they have a space to farm. I don't think Aster is going to be out of that area for too long. They're going to go back in. They've still got the Aegis. The Silver Edge is up and running. So there's not much to be scared of if you are on Aster's side.
Definitely not. I think they want to try and keep being aggressive here, Aster. They do go back into that Radiant side jungle. Fade going for a nullify now on that Riki. It's a polite reminder as well, this is still a support Riki we're watching. This is not a core Riki, so some people that just joined the chat will probably be like, wow, Riki no farm. And now Baboka has the Aghanim Scepter, so there's 3 charges of the Purge. And even without that level 25 talent, like, he's about to hit that level 18 mark. That is still 1.5k worth of damage you can get out. In fact, yeah, 1.5k worth of damage you can get out if you just spam it on one hero alone. Jewel straight on to Piao. That's going to be a huge pick off, and the boat will fly in. Lasso was there, but it does nothing to Baboka. The BKB eventually going to wear off as well on that Bat Rider. Oh, a great X on the Ember as well. They caught him out.
Oh, man.
He just kind of spammed all his remnants to try and get out of that situation, and didn't really press the right button fast enough, and unfortunately, that means that this is going to be a very, very easy tier 3 tower, and probably a Rax, because they don't have buybacks.
Yeah, it's going to be really tricky for Longinus to get in there. They do still have the slam if they want to make a play, but you want to wait for your big hitting force first.
Look at Fade, though. Just jumping in, threatening Dodo. We'll see his smoke popped. They might go for a secondary Rax, realizing there's no buybacks, but no, the line's actually been drawn out. I suppose because the Aegis does expire in SCCC, they're not really interested in risking anything right now, considering how close the game was prior to that last engagement. And in fact, never mind. Mid lane, Longinus get caught out, and that is not good news. SCCC now getting another kill on the ES, and that's going to be more duel victories for XXS as they do try and chase down Dodo. He'll be alright, he'll get out of there. But this is now the Aster show. And to make matters worse, SCCC has a Paladin sword. He's about to have a full Satanica. Lasso?
It's a lot of good farm. Oh.
The disruption's there anyway. XXS, he just BKBs up and runs.
Ooh.
It's something you talked about in the draft stage as well. Now, Piao already losing so much HP to that Soul Catcher. Echo only going to be on one, and that is going to be Fade on the Riki. It's not going to matter. Piao is falling very low right now. They'll lose both the ES and the Bristle, and with that, they'll also probably have a Bat Rider joining them as soon as he does BKB up. Maybe the Invis Rune saves him. And it looks like it does. Meanwhile, a duel going on down to the bot lane. XXS does find another victory and then just kills off Dodo by himself. A triple kill for XXS. And this should definitely mean another axe, but the GG's been called. They have had enough. Their draft has dropped off way too much in this later stage of the game. And Aster will pull off the Game 1 victory.
Yeah, look, Longinus had a couple of moments there. They just kind of lost out